Hello again, everyone. My name is Connor Kempcal, and this is the Hipster Longsword series on Filippo Devotti's texts, and today we will be going through the middle guards. In short, there are 5 middle guards in Filippo Devotti's texts. Some of them are transitory positions, others are starting positions. All of them can be used either way, but we'll be starting now with Posta Sagittaria. All you have to do to get into Posta Sagittaria is start in Vera Finestra and push your hands forward. Posta Sagittaria is best used for deception and threatening with the point, as we will see here. Sagittaria's sister guard is Posta Breve di Spada Longhesa, aka Breve Longhesa. Getting into Breve Longhesa is almost exactly the same as what we did with Sagittaria, just on the opposite side, nothing different. Devatti tells us that the guard is cruel with the rotation of the cuts, or the turning of the cuts. As we will see in this upcoming clip, that is very true. The reason why Devatti talks so much about the turning with these guards is that your hands are so extended you need a stramazzone, which is a type of cut that involves mostly wrist action, as we can see here. It can be done with a passing step, a simple step, no step at all. All you need to do is just dip your point forwards while extended and bring the edge towards the companion, which we will learn about a little bit in a later section, but here's another example for you. A stramazzone can be done on the left as well as the right, although a key thing to remember is that we want to keep our sword in front of ourselves as much as possible while we do this, creating a cone of defense to stop any incoming blows against ourselves. This is one of the key features and strengths of the stramazzone. I like to make my stramazzone by relaxing my first 2 fingers and squeezing with my back 2 fingers, making a nice snapping action with each of my cuts. Another important thing to remember is hand position with the stramazzone. It becomes very important. Also, arm position. Keep those arms nice and straight. Folks that do saber, side sword, or rapier will be very familiar with the stramazzone or the mulinetto. The only difference with the longsword is that we have to turn our sword and dip our points towards wherever our fingers are facing, as opposed to being able to do it from the outside. But something that certainly hasn't changed from the longsword to any of the single-handed weapons is how absolutely tiring this is for the arms to do over and over again. But there's an easier way to do it that we'll see later on in the video. Next up on our list is Posta di Donna. Extremely different from Fiore's Posta di Donna. Devotti's Posta di Donna is held with our sword over our lead leg, being used as a guard or as a parry. A versatile guard with a little bit of an interesting aspect to it. And Devatti tells us that the guard allows us to conceal its length against an opponent, playing on the human eye's difficulty of translating vertical to horizontal distances, thus making it very useful for many stop thrusts or snappy cuts. Some refer to it as vom Flugenort and question its capability in being able to cut. But as we will see in this next clip, I don't necessarily think it's too much of a problem.
Hey, there we go.
I found that good structure and adding a little bit of a stomp into your cut will allow you to get through that tatami with some ease. Just another simple tip. Now that we're through with the cuts from Posta di Donna, let's look at a thrust. Our next guard is Posta Corona, also referred to in Fiore's texts as Posta Corona and Posta Frontale. In Kunstes Vechtens, it is called Kron. Posta Corona is a transitional guard, allowing us to cover the non-dominant side of our body and riposte after moving into that guard. An important thing for us to remember when we are using Posta Corona in Devotti's system is that it is off to the side as opposed to being in the center, like Fiore's Posta Corona. Devatti tells us that Posta Corona is master of binds, and in practice it allows us to close directly into stretto, along with setup thrusts into posta breve longhezza or posta sagittaria, like shown here. Well, that didn't end too well for me. Onto posta longa con la spada curta, or as I like to call it, posta longa, or long point. A fantastic guard for setting up thrusts. Posta longa is a staple of many different systems, although it does appear a little bit different in bodies with your lead leg forward. I think it can be done on either side. It can be used to set up the scribbier de punta, as shown here, as well as being an ending point for many different types of actions. A common theme of all the middle guards is that while transitioning into one another, they allow for great versatility in the thrust. For example, cutting to Lunga and then thrusting into breve longhezza. The guards, when moved through, allow for a synergy that kind of direct themselves towards the endpoint of the thrust, either in Lunga or in posta breve longhezza or in posta sagittaria. Dana for straight thrusts and Corona for binds, followed by thrusts. In this clip I do fuck up and stab into the wrong-sided guard. I should be turning my sword towards my opponent, but onto rotare, which is one of the core principles of Vadi's system. The rotating principle is very similar to the stramazzone. When we throw a cut, we want to turn our sword towards our opponent's blow. Doing this makes our bind weaker, but allows us to generate a powerful stramazzone to force our cut back towards our opponent at the same angle. Also, due to a difference in tempo, it does kind of throw off our opponent's timing a bit. What Vadi actually says about the rotating principle is that the rotating principle is when you, with arms extended out, striking through the companion, which I have interpreted as exploiting an opponent's hard cutter thrust with a stramazzone or a failed thrust of our own into a stramazzone. And there you have it, folks, one of the core principles of Vadi's system. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Connor Kepcal, and this is the Sinestra channel. I look forward to seeing you guys at the next Hipster Longsword. Stay safe, remember to wash your hands, comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.